Pursuant to House Resolution 445, the gentleman from Arizona, Mr. Gosar, and a member opposed each will control 5 minutes. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Arizona for 5 minutes.
Madam Chairwoman, I yield to my distinguished gentleman from Louisiana 2 minutes.
Gentleman is recognized for 2 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to thank the Chairman Gosar and the Western Caucus for bringing further attention to the scourge that is chronic wasting disease. At the beginning of this Congress, I introduced H.R. 837, which will require the USDA and the Department of the Interior to collaborate with the National Academy of Sciences to study the predominantly pathways and the mechanisms for the transmission of chronic wasting disease in surveyed populations. There's a lot of CWD research out there, some good, some not so good. What we need is authoritative and comprehensive scientific consensus on how chronic wasting disease spreads. This study will allow us to pursue the most effective methods to fight CWDs, but we cannot do this without the proper resources. So I want to thank the committee and the subcommittee chairs, ranking members, and staff for increasing CW disease funding and for providing language that encourages greater scientific collaboration within the federal government. This will set us on the right path to understanding how CWD infects and how it spreads, and give the foundation of knowledge we need to build the right policy. I urge my colleagues to support this amendment, and I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman's time has expired, and the gentleman from Arizona reserves. For what purposes does the gentleman rise?
Madam Chair, I rise in opposition to this amendment in order to be able to speak on it.
The gentlewoman is recognized for 5 minutes.
I thank both gentlemen for their concern and dedication to this issue. In the 1990s, when I served in the Minnesota House and our Environment Agriculture Committee, I first learned of chronic wasting disease and the way that it was frightening hunters and it was frightening people who like to consume deer meat. And we took some action at the time when I was in the State House to address this, only to find out it's a bigger flare-up, and it's something that we need to address. And in my home state of Minnesota, under the leadership of Governor Walz, we're putting more time, more energy, more resources into working on this issue. And that's why you'll find in the House report accompanying the Interior bill, it highlights the committee's concern about chronic wasting disease and the need to continue to collaborate with partners to develop early detection tools and compounds to disrupt the transmission of this deadly disease. As of June 7, 2019, chronic wasting disease has been reported in at least 24 states in the continental United States, as well as in 2 provinces in Canada. Once this disease is established in an area, the risk can remain for a long time in the environment. And we're finding out a long time is a long time. The lack of treatment or vaccines for this insidious disease highlights the need for more research. And we need to be working, and I've been, as a member of the Agriculture Committee, been talking to the USDA about what we do about disposing of these carcasses at some of the, because this disease not only appears in the wild, it also appears in some captive herds that are used for consumption as well. So my colleagues to know, I look forward to working with them on this issue, and I wanted to use this as an opportunity to let both gentlemen know it's in the report language, and we look forward to the authorizers working more so we can even do more to address this disease. And with that, Madam Chair, I thank the gentlemen once again for their amendment, and I yield back the time.
The gentlelady yields back her time. The gentleman from Arizona.
I thank the chairwoman. I thank the gentlelady from Minnesota. This chronic wasting disease is 100% fatal. And we have similar diseases like mad cow disease in cattle and in sheep. So one of the things that we're very concerned, as she alluded to, the gentlelady, is we have no testing available for hunter and populations. Is it communicable to human beings and to other aspects of agriculture? Those are some of the things that we really need to address. And as the gentlelady said, we've now seen it now in 25 states. So it is spreading. And once again, being 100% fatal, we've got to address this because we have whole populations that are at stake. So we can put our ingenuity to task here. We can solve this problem, but it's on the forefront. I thank the gentleman from Louisiana. As a veterinarian, as a physician, he understands the ramifications, the dire ramifications of this. And I thank the gentlelady for accepting this. And with that, I yield back.
The gentleman yields back. It is now in order to consider amendment. The question is on the amendment. It is now in order to. Question is on the amendment offered by the gentleman from Arizona. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. The amendment is agreed to.